Okay, so this morning I have about 20 minutes left. I'm at work right now. I have about 20 minutes left, and before I have to open the store. And I want to practice just speaking and trying to use the word a little less. I was thinking about it. I really just sit down and think when I'm driving. And recently, since my commute has been so short, I haven't had a lot of thinking time. So that's something that I'm battling with, and I don't know why, but during the car, I make a lot of my decisions while I'm driving. But I only live 2 miles away now, so I can't. I don't think and deep dive into what I'm into decision making. So, anyways, I think that a lot of my ums come from me reading the news. I read the news a lot. I read it every day. I know I'm an old man, and I accept it. See, I'm just trying to work on those long pauses. That's what really irritates me. But anyways, I know I'm an old man, and I read the news a lot. But I read a lot of headlines. So with the headlines, I just read short phrases, and I skip a lot because when you read the news, and when you read the news as often as I do, you start to realize that a lot of the news kind of blends together. So you have USA Today, you have Business Insider, you have CNN, you have MSNBC, you have the New York Times, the Los Angeles Times, or whatever. And even though that they're different media outlets, but sometimes the news, they start repeating itself. So then you're like, okay, I know all about this already. I need to just see what the update is and move on. So it just gets to be a little bit of a time waster. So, and I didn't mention it, but the reason why I'm doing this is because I want to practice podcasting, and right now I'm being pressured to talk and continue talking by recording myself. So. I don't want to do a lot of editing while I'm doing the podcast. After post-production, I don't want to do a ton of editing because then it's going to make me not want to do it. So this is just practice for me. And during the short car rides that I have to work, I realize that if I could just start doing it, that it will become second nature to me, and the words are going to flow out a little bit better. The thoughts are going to flow out a little bit better. So that's just kind of one of the things that I'm struggling with right now. So right now, today is January 20th, and it's 8:40, almost 8:44 in the morning. And I'm going to be posting this on YouTube because it's going to be a long video. So I don't want to inundate, and I want it to be a longer video. I want somebody to watch, and I don't think I'm gonna get a lot of watches or whatever, and I'm gonna try to keep it short. It's at 3 minutes and 45 seconds, almost 4 minutes long. So I want to keep it short. See, I keep slipping it in, and when I get up, I get like an emotional feeling. I get like when I say I get emotional, and then the emotion takes over, and then I lose my train of thought. That's also something that happens, and I really don't like that happens. Well, if I get like an emotional rush about something, like even if it's small, a minuscule emotional rush, I lose my train of thought, and then I have to get back on the track. So just practice. I'm hoping that I will be able to do it. I really want to be able to do this podcast. I have a lot of things to say. Some of the people that are going to be watching this, they're going to understand why I'm doing this, and they're going to appreciate it. So, anyways, so this morning, I'm looking at stop with the Albert. It's okay if you slip it, but keep moving. Okay, it's going to be all right. Okay. So this morning, after the Congress went in and had a really late evening. I don't even know what to call it. See, I'm losing my train of thought. But basically, the government is shut down. Okay. So, and what really pisses me off is that it's basically a bunch of kids in Washington D.C. that want to take advantage of a certain situation and want to slip in huge legislation, while the others or some others are trying to just get the task done at hand. And basically, what's going on is that the Congress has to decide on a budget to continue funding the federal government. So that's all types of different agencies, parks, monuments, all sorts of things. If you ever watch the news or read the news, I'm sure you're seeing it. So just take a second and kind of educate yourself on kind of what's going on. On a day-to-day basis, at least for me, it's not going to affect me. But if you want to go get a passport, or something to that effect, you won't be able to get a passport. You're just going to have to wait. So anyways, just reading about what's going on. So it's just a lot of back and forth. So the House reconvened Saturday morning and the partisan finger pointing began immediately. So you did, no, you did, no, you did this, that, and so on and so forth. Democrats in the United States Senate are holding government funding hostage. First of all, I think the Democrats, I'm a Democrat, want to do the right thing and don't want to be taken advantage of. Okay, so obviously the Republican, the GOP party has the White House, has the House of Representatives or whatever it is, and they have the majorital vote. Okay, so Democrats in the United States Senate are holding the government funding hostage. The people protecting this country will continue to work but won't get a paycheck. Representative Virginia Foxx, Republican of North Carolina, said in the floor speech. And then House Minority Whip Steny Hoyer, Democrat from, I guess, Maryland, shot back from across the aisle. It's the Trump confrontation and chaos that continues. This is why this government is shut down. House Republicans and Democrats plan to hold separate caucus meetings at 10 a.m. to plot the hours ahead. The Senate is scheduled to convene at noon, but it is unclear when senators might vote Saturday, if at all. So some really stupid stuff that's going on. I'm trying to keep up with it. I haven't dove down and done huge research on the situation, but I'm keeping myself informed, and I'm letting and I'm just aware. Basically, it's just aware. Maybe if I was more affected by the situation, I would dive down and get more educated on the situation. But I even missed a part of who, what, and so on and so forth. So, but it's something that I'm working on or whatever. So, not much to say. I mean, it's just they're hoping that they're going to be able to get the federal government up and running before Monday morning rolls around. So, I mean, I think the only things that are working on the weekend is the national parks and things of that nature, but like big government agencies like passports and so on and so forth, some of them are probably open Saturday, definitely closed on Sunday. So I think that the Senate and the House of Representatives and so on and so forth, they're thinking that they have until Monday to get the situation resolved and agree on a budget. But the big thing that they want to slip in there and get a vote on is immigration. And I mean, we're talking about like the federal government being shut down and government agencies and so on and so forth. Why are we talking immigration just so that we can get a vote like that? I think it's so childish, and it's not really helpful to the cause. And even the dreamers, the people that are affected by DACA, and possibly getting deported and so on and so forth, I mean, they're being used as a bargaining chip right now. I was reading that they're really upset. I mean, they just kind of make a decision. I mean, obviously they want to stay. I mean, a lot of people have been here for 30 plus years, have U.S. citizen families. And I mean, it was really sad. Like over the weekend, this past weekend, I think there was a man that was here for like 28, 30 years or whatever. He has a family. He has, and they've deferred his they've deferred his deportation for quite a few months or whatever, but finally they just couldn't, and he got deported. And what is he gonna do? What is he going to do in Mexico? I mean, he lived his whole entire life, paid his taxes, and did everything, and now he's being shipped off. I don't even, who knows if he has family. I'm pretty sure he has family, but who knows? You know, it's terrible. So, anyway, it's just a really sad situation, and the Dreamers are tired of being used as a bargaining chip, and they just want to stay. They just want to stay. I just can't believe that in this age, with this presidency, we can be so cold and heartless. I mean, but it's him. It's him, you know? And I was reading, there's a new book that's out there. It's called Fire and Fury, the Trump presidency. I forgot what the exact title is, and I want to read it. It's supposed to be really super juicy, and it's supposed to detail basically how things are in the White House right now during this presidency in the first year of his presidency. So I was listening to a podcast. I think it's called My Big, or not my, but the Big Gay Politics Podcast or something like that. It's something really stupid, but they recap a lot of important stuff that me as a gay man, me as a Democrat, me as a minority would be really interested in. So basically there was a female that I think it's one of the podcast hosts' friend, and she read the book Fire and Fury, the Trump presidency or whatever, and it's basically a lot about Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump, Steve Bannon, very little about what's her name, Melania, and just to give you a kind of little bit of a snippet. People are really afraid of pissing him off, and he doesn't want to do the homework. He doesn't want to read. He wants to be read to. He basically goes with whatever the last person said. So if you want something important to go through, his staff, the people that, you know, that are affected or are in this situation, they have to kind of be the last one to see him for the afternoon or the day, and whatever last word that you said, they're gonna go with. He's gonna go with. He's gonna say, "Okay, that sounds good. Let's go with that." Yeah. Instead of like pausing and getting all the information lined up, he just, like a kid, just goes basically on the last thing he remembers. So. There was a lot of rumors going around that he is an illiterate. He doesn't read. He doesn't know how to read. I believe that he knows how to read. I mean, you cannot be the president of the United States and not know how to read. I just think that he's super lazy, and he doesn't want to do his homework, basically. He wants somebody else to do his homework. I mean, he's been living this life for so long, super cushy. I mean, he was born into wealth. His father was a real estate investor or something like that, or a developer. I'm not 100% sure. I don't remember at this moment. But, you know, so he had a really cushy life where he really didn't have to try hard. All he had to do was just make some tough decisions based on some information that people that counsel him gave him. And that's it. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot more to it. But in my eyes, with my limited amount of information based on what I know, that's what I conclude. So that's what I think. And a lot of people think the same thing, whatever. So I have a few more minutes. It's 8:53. I have to open the store at 9 o'clock. So what else? There was something else that I thought was important about that, or about him in that book. I'm not sure. But there's another book that I really want to read too. It's the Is that her name? Leah Remini. Her book, I really want to read her book as well, because it details everything about Scientology, and it just kind of puts their dirty laundry out to dry where everybody can see it, smell it, everything. So, okay, so we're at about 15 minutes, so I'm going to stop it here. Just hopefully you can kind of get a sense, and I'm practicing, and I think I didn't do so bad. Thanks for watching.